We're back in Dayton Memorial Park again. Excuse the wind, it's really windy here, but I've always said it that some of the craziest stories are not made up, they come from real life. Wait till you hear this one.
Forgotten by time, lives ended by the hand of someone else in cold blood. We finish their stories because they were not able to finish their own. You're watching Vintage Murder, a Whit Docs series. When it comes to auto racing, you naturally think of places like Indianapolis, Indiana, or Daytona, Florida. Dayton, Ohio is most definitely not a place that you would think of. However, there was a racing scene here in Dayton. Charles F. Engle fits into that scene perfectly. Today we are in Dayton Memorial Park in Dayton, Ohio, to visit the final resting place of Mr. Engle and take a look at not only his amazing life, but also his tragic ending. He was a true pioneer of auto racing, beginning his journey in the early 1930s. Dayton Speedway was opened in 1934. Believe it or not, it held events for popular racing series as NASCAR, ARCA, and USAC. And when that very first race happened to run at that track, Charles Engle finished in the 4th position. He would become a regular on the Ohio circuit. I previously mentioned Indianapolis as a racing hotbed. Yeah, he competed there too, in the Indianapolis 500. And while we have talked about his prowess as a driver, his true calling was in building the cars. It didn't take long before Mr. Engle became one of the most prolific car builders and mechanics in the sport of auto racing. His cars were known as some of the fastest ever built at that time. As far as his personal life goes, Mr. Engle wasn't married nor had a family, but it was said that he was beloved. He was never without friends, especially at his tavern in Dayton. Once he moved on from racing and cars, he would turn his sights towards business. You could always find Mr. Engle serving his patrons down at the tavern, spending evenings telling stories of days gone by. Other than those facts, what else do we know about Mr. Engle? Well, for a man that would be inducted into the Dayton Speedway Hall of Fame, he doesn't leave much of a paper trail. I was able to find his draft card, so that does tell us a little more. He was born January 2nd, 1907 in Marion, Indiana. He stood 5'7", 175 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes. Sadly, my search for a picture of Mr. Charles Engle ended in disappointment. When I started this research, I knew the cause of death, but I had yet to confirm the exact details. So that's when I started digging deeper into what may have happened on that fateful night of his death. And I really thought that my efforts were coming to a standstill until I had a break in my research. It was 1 a.m. at 1147 East 2nd Street in Dayton. Mr. Engle was preparing to close down the tavern for the night. A couple of men had been in the bar drinking. Joe Rose and John Woods would rise from their chairs and order everyone to lay their heads on the bar. Everyone except Engle, who was told to produce the money. According to the victims, that's when the shooting started. A waitress named Pauline Inman and 3 other people were struck during the robbery attempt. Charles Engle wouldn't survive. On September 21st, 1974, at the age of 67, respected citizen, racing pioneer, Hall of Famer, Charles Franklin Engle would pass away. His obituary would read, Charles F. Engle, age 67 of 1147 East 2nd Street, Dayton, passed away Saturday. He was a tavern operator in the Dayton area. He was a member of the Old Timers Association of Race Drivers at Winchester, Indiana. Survivors include an aunt and a cousin, also a very dear friend, Ruth Barnes Johnston of Dayton, and Marge Chase, who was the manager of the downtown Ingles Tavern and had been his employee for over 24 years. Service is 2 p.m. Wednesday, Morris Sons Funeral Home, 1809 East 3rd Street. Reverend Edward A. Puff officiating. Burial in Memorial Park Cemetery. Visitation Tuesday, 5 to 8 at the funeral home. In lieu of flowers, friends may make donations to their favorite charity. Sadly, during his Hall of Fame induction in 2009, a next of kin could not be located to accept the award. A dear friend accepted the award on his behalf. We have this gravesite, a very few hard-to-find newspaper articles, and sadly, no picture of Mr. Engel. What started out as a routine and normal night ended with tragedy. Another heartbreak, another senseless act, another vintage murder. Forgotten by time, lives ended by the hand of someone else in cold blood. We finish their stories because they were not able to finish their own. You're watching Vintage Murder, a Whit Docs series.